The wildland firefighters who protect Colorado are at high risk for health issues related to smoke. Yet firefighters working for the feds have long been blocked from wearing certain safety equipment. Thanks for being here. I'm Kyle Clark.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. For the first time, those firefighters are now being encouraged to wear those N95 respirators on the fire line. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us with how local firefighters help drive that change. Colton?
Hey, Alex, firefighters on the front lines, they're on more than just the front lines of our wildfires. Some are also volunteering to help researchers understand what this job does to the human body long after the flames are out.
They're putting their lives on the line for us all the time, and their health.
Wildland firefighters in Colorado may now get more protection.
There's been some studies where you kind of estimate risks based on exposures we need, and that study came up with an increased risk of lung cancer specifically.
The U.S. Forest Service is now encouraging wildland firefighters to wear protective respirators as a major policy shift years in the making.
We have a study of firefighters called the Firefighter Cancer Cohort Study. We have enrolled firefighters from Colorado, from California, from Utah and Wyoming.
Dr. Jeff Burgess says it's a start. Do you think that there's more that needs to be done on top of just respirator encouragement? Is this something that obviously can't be solved just by one thing?
We don't have that much information in the United States, particularly, on how much protection these respirators provide. We know which are more comfortable than others, but we're just at the beginning of figuring out which of these would be, best in terms of providing protection for folks.
And Dr. Burgess says they depend on cooperation from firefighters so studies can continue to shape policy moving forward.
They have to help us be able to enroll the firefighters to collect the samples, to collect the urine and the blood after these incidents. And they have to do their regular job on top of it.
So after years of running into danger for all of us, Dr. Burgess says the least they can do is run the science for them.
They deserve to have us help them.
And Dr. Burgess says with wildfire season getting longer and more destructive, that research can't wait. The Forest Service says these changes are just the beginning as it works toward a more comprehensive program to better protect our firefighters' health. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Now to a live look from Steamboat tonight. After several days of this severe weather in different parts of the metro area, the main weather concern heading into the weekend is fire danger up in the high country. Checking with Corey Reppenhagen, there's still some activity radar-wise behind you, though.
Just a little bit of activity still out there. So this is the 7th day in a row with severe storms, but this is the first day in the last 6 days that we've had no storm damage reports across the state. We have the last few storms rolling out of the state right now. No reports yet, but these storms right here had the best potential to cause damage, but so far that would be the end of it. We do have some moisture still streaming across, so we could see a brief shower here in the foothills or the mountains, but that would be it. Now we're going to flip the weather pattern over, and our concern is going to be fire weather. Red flag fire weather warnings in place for both Saturday and Sunday for all of the mountains and all of the western slope. Gusty winds, dry conditions, quite a bit of heat as well. That's part of the formula. Heat here as well. We don't have a fire weather warning in our area, but we're really close to the threshold, so we got to be very careful with anything that could cause a spark this weekend and the rest of the week for that matter. I'll have more on that heat and the fire conditions coming up in the full forecast.
4 years ago today, a woman in Lakewood lost her son to an overdose. Since then, she spent countless hours in the kitchen, baking hundreds of cakes to raise money for his headstone.
And this week, she finally reached her goal. But as 9 News reporter Evan Krugel shows us, her journey is far from over.
The numbness, the denial, you're still processing that he's gone.
Cemeteries have a way of freezing time. For Angela Hernandez, time stopped 4 years ago today when she found her son Gary dead from an overdose.
That's when first tragedy struck.
We met Angela a few months after Gary's death.
Everything just happened so quick. We didn't have enough money for his plot.
So Angela started baking.
it just became therapy for me.
One cake at a time, she chased an $11,000 goal that often felt out of reach.
A couple thousand was achievable, but 11,000, I was like, it was going to take me a long time.
It did.
Yeah.
But hundreds of cakes later,
Okay,
Angela's work
so we're just going to reveal it.
is paying off.
I'm finally honoring my son.
For most people, this would be the end of the story. But for Angela, it's the beginning of another.
So both their passings happen in June.
As she starts over in the kitchen, this time for her other son, Vincent, who was murdered in a Denver jail last year.
He's right above his brother.
She believes both are watching from above,
I know they're proud of me.
cheering her on one cake at a time.
Yeah.
In Wheat Ridge,
I got another task that needs to be done.
Evan Krugel,
Back to the kitchen.
9 News.
Angela bakes those cakes after she's done with her full-time job at her home in Lakewood. You can find more information on how to order one on this story on our website, 9news.com.
Now that Tina Peters is out of prison, she's back to peddling the same election rigging conspiracy theories that led her to commit crimes and end up in prison. The former Republican Mesa County clerk was convicted of several felonies for sneaking a hacker into voting systems to turn over info to fellow election deniers. Democratic Governor Jared Polis commuted her nearly 9-year sentence last month, said she was sentenced too harshly because of her political views. Polis also claimed that Peters was remorseful. Peters has been reliably proud of her actions and not the least bit remorseful. She gave her first public speech since her release today at Freedom Fest, a MAGA event in Castle Rock, where she repeated the same election rigging claims that led her to break the law.
To see how they were able to load the votes and flip votes. I'm seeing Mandami get elected. You know, when I was running for Secretary of State and Jenna Griswold cheated the election, if we don't stand up and we don't fight back now, what happened to me will happen to each one of you. This is our 1776 moment.
We reached out to the governor's office and asked if he felt he had been duped into granting Peters clemency. Spokesperson said Polis still believes her sentence was too long and it was illegally based in part on her free speech.
The U.S. Department of Education is once again threatening to take away federal funding from Jeffco public schools. It's over the district's policies related to transgender students. The department's Office for Civil Rights started investigating the district last year. In March, it said that investigation uncovered 61 boys' names on girls' sports rosters. The district has said those are managers, trainers, mascots even, not athletes. Despite that, OCR announced today it would refer the case to the Department of Justice and cut off federal funding. The district says that it stands to lose more than $90 million if that happens. It's asking state leaders to step in, noting its policies align with the state's anti-discrimination law. Earlier in the week, the school board authorized its legal counsel to begin preparing for a legal battle with the federal government.
Many city facilities in Aurora are going to be closed for part of next week to save money. The third of 4 furlough days will be Thursday, July 2nd. The furlough days are part of a cost-saving plan to help with the city budget. Emergency services like police and fire, of course, will still be available, but most city facilities and operations like the courts and libraries will be closed. There will also be some closures or adjusted hours on Friday, July 3rd for observance of Independence Day. Hours will vary, so check the city's website.